Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a get ready with me for my work Christmas holiday party in 2020. So I'm really excited for tonight. It's actually going to be my first big event since COVID kind of happened earlier this year. So I'm really excited. The only other thing that I've had pretty much this whole entire time during lockdown was just my birthday party, and that was back in August, and that was a very small get together. So since then, or even before then, I actually haven't had a get together or an event to go to. So I thought I'd sit down here and we'd film my get ready with me. So you can see that I've got my hair pushed back with this headband that I picked up from Boohoo. And the other thing you might be able to tell is my hands are a lot more tan than my face, and actually my neck as well. So I've actually got tan all the way from here to literally about here. The tan actually stops. Actually, it might even be a little higher than that. So this whole entire part of my hand is actually tanned on both sides, and that's literally where my tan ends, because I'm actually going to be wearing this dress here, which I actually picked up from Boohoo as well. So it's got super long sleeves and it pretty much only shows my wrists, my legs, which are also tanned, and maybe this little part of my neck right here. So instead of even bothering to tan this and then scrubbing my neck for like the next 2 days until it looks normal again, I think I'm just going to put a lot of bronzer down here and kind of get it to mesh that way. So starting off, you might notice that I also look a little bit different. So my skin with the mask wearing has just been going through the ringer. I've got a massive pimple here, which is actually very calm right now. It was literally about 4 sizes bigger than this. I also have one underneath my brow, which is so rare. I never get that. I've also got one above my brow. I've also got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the one that I showed you earlier. And there's a couple more here. So with the mask wearing, this whole entire area of my face has really been going through the ringer. So to spare you guys from having to stare at all of my scars and everything, I just thought I would do a little bit of the eye area and then a little bit of this area with concealer as well. So I hope you don't mind. But apart from that, let's go right ahead and start on the eyeshadow. So for shadow, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do on the eyes. I don't really have a color scheme or like a look, but I figured I wanted to do something really smoky, really sultry. I just wanted to feel really powerful and sultry tonight. Like I just had kind of like an emotion that I kind of wanted to feel, like if that makes any sense. Sometimes I don't even feel like I look at color schemes or like a particular look. I just know how I want to feel. Sometimes I want to feel soft and girly, and tonight I want to feel super sultry and powerful. So I actually was looking through my collection and I found this Hidden Treasures palette from Dose of Colors, and I looked at the colors and I was just thinking to myself, like, I really want to use this. Like, it is so beautiful. I haven't tapped into it yet. So first I'm going to start off with this shade here called Locket, which is a warm matte brown with the Dose of Colors blending brush. And I'm going to start popping that straight into the crease. And I'm going to start winging out the shadow towards my temple. So next I think I'm going to jump straight into Key, which is a dark matte brown with this Dose of Colors shader brush. And I think I'm going to go right ahead and start darkening my outer and inner V. So I don't know if you can tell what I'm trying to do here, but I'm trying to make the shape a little bit more interesting. So I am pulling it into the outer V, but I'm almost taking my outer V kind of up a little bit more. So it's almost more like a smoky wing, and then I'm pulling it out and through the crease again. So just to make it a little bit more interesting, I'm going to go for this outer V shape. And then I'm just tapping back into Locket, which is the first shade, with the first brush, which was the blender brush, and I'm just starting to blend that out. So next I'm going to go back into the shade Key with the Zoeva 227 Soft Definer brush. And I'm actually going to start taking that shadow straight into this little area right here. So if I'm looking down, there'll be a gap here and then a gap right in here. I feel like to a degree I'm kind of inspiring this by a halo eye, but I feel like I didn't want something so obvious like a regular halo eye. I almost kind of wanted to try a shape that I haven't seen before. And then once again, just taking the first blending brush and just lightly buffing that out. And then to darken the look, I might go into Onyx, which is the deep matte black with the Dose of Colors pencil brush. And I'm going to darken up the root of this color, so keeping it really close to the lash line. And then kind of the outer V. So something kind of like that. I hope you can kind of tell the difference in the definition right here versus right here. But I even took it kind of into the deeper V as well, just so it was a little bit more defined, but hopefully you can kind of see a difference. I just wanted it to be a little bit more multi-dimensional, especially in the outer corner. So I might even just take the tiniest little bit of Onyx and pop it on this inner corner too. And then looking at the palette, I'm not too sure what I want to do for the lid color. Like, I think I do want to go into coin, which is the beautiful gold, but I feel like maybe I want to incorporate perhaps a little bit of diamond. I'm not too sure, so maybe I'll just mix a little bit of both of them on the Real Techniques 307 shading brush. So I'm just going to start placing that in the one area that we have no color, so kind of in this area right here. And then I'm going to take it a little bit higher just to fill in that little gap that we left from earlier. So I'm just going to start tapping back into those first few shades, and I'm just going to re-intensify them so you can see it's nice and blended. The one thing I can say, which is absolutely shocking to me, is you can see how dark of a color scheme we've gone. I actually don't have any fallout underneath my eyes whatsoever, which is practically near impossible because we've worked with so many matte dark shadows, which normally have a lot of fallout. So I am shocked. I could have probably done my whole face makeup and not worried about it, but I just thought to be precautious, I should actually just go right ahead and do my eyes first. But I feel like, honestly, if you wanted to recreate this for some odd reason, I actually think if you had this palette right here, you could probably just end up doing your whole entire base first. That is so surprising to me. So next I wanted to add a little bit of liquid liner to my upper lash line. This is the EYEKO London Skinny Liquid Eyeliner in the shade Pitch Black. I have used this once before in my testing full face of samples video, and I found that it was okay. It was a little bit patchy, but I wanted to give it another go today. So I'm going to start by drawing a thin liquid line just against my lashes. So it is quite subtle, but do you see, especially when I look down or look forward, there's a little bit more definition in that inner corner for me. I feel like if you didn't have this little bit of skin like I did, an inner corner feline flick right here would be really, really beautiful. But I feel like, especially on me, I can just tell I need that little bit more definition at my inner corner. But if I made it smoky like this whole side is, I think it would just smudge on me. I have very, very smudgy inner corners. So for me, I can't keep too many shadows close to there, especially like a black smoky shadow, because it just tends to transfer for me. So you can see, especially when I'm looking down or looking at the camera, it just looks a little bit more defined right here. I'm going to draw a little bit of a winged liner on my outer V. Yeah, if I'm being honest, I don't like this liquid liner. It's very, very patchy. I feel like it's definitely picking up some of the shadow underneath. Like, I don't know if you can see, but right here, there's a little bit of my flesh kind of poking through where there was some shadow originally, but the liquid liner has just kind of taken it off. So it's not ideal. Okay, so I just wet a cotton tip with some micellar water, and I'm going to go right ahead and start cleaning up the under eye. So do you see how it just really sharpened everything up? Okay, so I zoomed you guys out so you can see what the eyes are looking like. I actually am really happy with them so far, but I just touched up my eye cream and I also touched up my facial primer and removed any of that excess concealer that you could see on the skin. So this is kind of how our skin is actually looking like. As you can see, it's really not its best. We've got some active pimples here, we've got some scarring. It's just a whole shebang right now, but it is what it is. It could be better, it could be worse, but I actually wanted to try out a different technique that I've seen going around. It is actually where you apply your contour, your concealer, and then your foundation. In theory, it kind of sounds a little bit gimmicky, like it doesn't sound like it's something that actually makes sense to kind of cover it all up, but I see Makeup by Harush do it all the time and she's got the best skin and she just looks so gorgeous, so I figured we'd go right ahead and try it. So I'm going to take this product right here, which I've used before. Sadly, it is long discontinued, but this is the STILA Shape and Shade Custom Contour Duo in the shade Deep. This is the darkest one that they used to have, but I primarily used this one for this color right here. I wanted to take the Dose of Colors flat contour brush into the lighter color. I might even take a little bit of the darker color, so I might just kind of mix back and forth between them. And I know that you're meant to take this a little bit higher than where you'd normally contour. So I'm going to take it around the forehead, kind of in here. This feels so weird, you guys. So I feel like I look a little bit insane. Like every single time I see her do this, every time I literally say to myself, that's not gonna work. How can this blend out? Oh my goodness, too much product. But every time she does, flawless. To be fair, I know that she's a very incredible artist and she could probably make chalk look good on the face, but I really wanted to try it because why not? And then just like she does, I'm going to take a smaller brush. This is the Zoeva 223 Petite Eye Blender. And I'm going to take a combo of those two again. And I'm going to try and contour my nose similar to the way that she does. So she takes it right down the bridge. And I think she actually connects it to the top of the brow, and then she kind of slightly shortens it here. Not a lot, because I know she likes her nose to be quite small, but she does keep those lines quite thin. And then doing the same tip that she does, she actually contours her lips with her contour shade from her face too. And I remember her saying that you need to shade the outer corners, so I'm going to go right ahead and take that onto the lip. Okay, so I feel ridiculous right now. I feel like a total insane human being. To be fair, on camera it's looking a little bit more orangey. In reality it's looking very brown, but nevertheless I still feel crazy. So hopefully this turns out. So all I'm gonna do is start blending this up. I think she uses the same brush, but I know that she doesn't overblend, so I'm just going to really lightly start to kind of blend it upwards. And I know with the nose she kind of slightly drags it down. And then she slightly buffs this inner corner into her brow to make it look a little bit more believable. So next for concealer, I'm going to take two different shades of the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue Concealer. So I've got the shade 14 Light Medium and the shade 10 Light. So I'm going to start off with a lighter shade, which is the shade 10 Light. So I'm going to go right ahead and start applying this underneath the eyes. And I know that she actually takes this pretty much right up next to the nose. And then I know that she does three little thingies here, which I know that she calls the Tree of Life, which I think is so cute. And then I'm going to go right ahead and try to draw a really skinny line right down the center of my nose, something like that. And the lighter color will go right here too. This is so insane. I actually don't have that much product in terms of the concealer on my skin. Like I only took one dip, but I feel like the stark contrast in the two colors is insane. So next I'm going to go into the shade 14, which is light medium. And then this is what she takes under here, over this side too, and then kind of up here. So she says anywhere that she gets a little bit darker is where she takes the brightest color, and then the other one is kind of her natural skin tone that she blends it into. So I'm actually just going to take my sponge and I'm going to start by blending out the concealer. And then I might actually take the Real Techniques 300 Deluxe Crease Brush and I'm going to use that to start blending out my under eye. And then I'm going to go right ahead and start blending out the center of the face. And now I'm going to take my sponge and try to blend out the contour too. I'll be honest, I don't think I could ever have the patience to do this every time I did my makeup. Like this is taking so long. The hardest thing is to not overblend because or else you can't really see it. Okay, so next for foundation, I'm going to take my Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue Medium to Full Coverage Foundation in the shade 119 Light Medium. I'm going to go right ahead and take about a pump of that on the back of my hand. And I'm going to take that straight onto the back of my sponge. And I'm going to go right ahead and start down by my jawline. And then I'm going to start blending upwards. Okay, so I've definitely done something wrong because I feel like this whole entire contour has just kind of vanished and I thought I did it dark enough but supposedly maybe I didn't. Perhaps either you weren't meant to do foundation over the top of the contoured areas or maybe you were meant to go for a lighter coverage foundation. I mean, I use a lot less than I normally do of this foundation and I thought perhaps it would work, but the second I even put a little bit of foundation over the top of it, it completely vanished. So I'm going to take the same brush with the residual product. I'm going to do this off camera, but I'm going to retouch up my contoured areas. So the last thing I want to do before I set down my face is take a little bit of these iconic London illuminated drops in the shade Original. This is a deluxe sample that I picked up in my full face of samples. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that and just pop it straight on top of my cheeks and a bit above my brow and then a little bit down the center of my nose. And then I'm just going to take my sponge and start blending that out. So next, to set the under eye, I'm going to take a little, now emphasis on a little bit, of the Makeup Forever HD High Definition Powder. This is a HD powder, so you definitely want to take a tiny little bit or you'll get some flashback. To apply that, I'm going to use the Real Techniques 402 setting brush. So for the rest of my face, I'm going to set it down with the Urban Decay Naked Skin Ultra Definition Pressed Finishing Powder in the shade Naked Medium Light and the Dose of Colors Large Powder Brush. So I'm just going to go right ahead and just lightly set down the perimeter, kind of somewhat avoiding the places that we contoured. So to set the contour down, I'm going to take another STILA product. This is the Stay All Day Contouring Bronzer for Face and Body in the shade Medium. And I'm going to apply that with the Dose of Colors Angled Contour Brush. And I'm going to tap into the product and I'm just going to start setting down the places that we contoured. So I'm not going to need too much because we didn't really set down the places that we contoured originally, so they'll be a little bit more sticky. Okay, so for a glowy bronzer, I thought we'd try out something different. This is actually the Dose of Colors Desi X Katie Chasing the Sun Highlighter. So I actually first tried this out in my Desi X Katie try-on video, and it was actually a little bit too dark for me. So I thought maybe we'd take the same brush into the product and try it as a glowy bronzer and see how that works. So I'm going to really lightly kind of buff that into the cheek, and I just want to see how it looks. Yeah, I don't know if that necessarily worked the best. I think from the side it actually just looks like I've got too much highlight on. I don't think it looks super bronzy. Do you see how this is nice and kind of defined? But now this side just looks kind of muddy, but unfortunately I'm going to have to do it to both sides now. I just wanted to see if there was maybe another way that I could get some use out of it, because I do find that some highlights that are a little bit dark can work as a bronzer, but unfortunately that one didn't work out too well. But I can definitely get some use out of it on the body when I'm a little bit more tanned. So to compare, I just chucked on my regular bronzer, and as you can see, I now have a little bit more color to my face, and especially kind of in this little area right here, it's kind of toned down that little bit of ashiness that I was kind of getting along the cheek, so I feel a little bit more bronzy now. So next for highlight, I've been really into this shade. This is another shade from that same collection. This is the Dose of Colors Desi X Katie Fuego Highlight, and I've been loving this one. You can see I've gotten a lot of use out of it. I haven't had it for long, but I've really been obsessed with it. So I'm going to go into the Dose of Colors Setting Powder Brush, and I'm going to tap into that highlight, and I'm going to go right ahead and emphasize that liquid illuminator that we used earlier. It's such a gorgeous highlighter. I feel like, especially because it's not too dark on the skin, it really does kind of give you that beautiful glow. So next for blush, I'm going to go into this blush right here from Dose of Colors. It's from the Mint For You collection in the shade Amazement. And I'm going to apply that using the Real Techniques 206 contour brush, which looks like this. And apply that kind of on the back of my cheek. Okay, so I zoomed you guys in so we can do the lower lash line. So I might go right ahead and mix Locket and Key. And I'm going to go right ahead and start smoking out the lower lash line. This is a Real Techniques shading brush, by the way. And then to darken that, I'm just going to take Key alone with my Dose of Colors Flat Definer brush. And I'm going to really push that in between my lashes. And then for the inner corner, I'm going to take this shade here called Pearl with the Real Techniques accent brush. And I'm going to go right ahead and highlight my inner corner. That might be a little bit bright for what I'm looking for, so I might just take a little bit of Fuego and I might just tap over that a little bit just to kind of dull it so it's not so stark. Okay, so since we've taken long enough already, I'm going to go off of camera and I'm going to apply my mascara, some lashes, and we'll come back for lips. Okay, so I'm back. So I just added some mascara and these lashes. These are the GEMMA Isabella Boss Girl lashes. And then I just added a little bit of pencil liner into my lower waterline, kind of stopping around here, just where the tear duct starts, just to kind of intensify the look and kind of make it a little bit more balanced because I thought it was a little bit top heavy. And I am really glad that I did that. So for the lips, I've got a little combo that I wanted to use. So I'm going to first start off with the Desi X Katie Dose of Colors My Main Liquid Lipstick. And then I'm going to top it off with my Dose of Colors Desi X Katie lipstick in the shade No Shade. And then taking my Zoeva 233 cream shader brush, I'm going to take the Dose of Colors Desi X Katie lip gloss in the shade The Most. And I'm going to pop that straight into the center of my lip. And then to set everything, I'm going to go into my Urban Decay and Meclan All Nighter Setting Spray in the scent Summer Solstice. So yeah guys, this is the finished look. I am so happy with the way that it turned out. I love the eye shape. It is so different from me. I've never done anything in this shape before, and I think it's super fun and very different, and I think it turned out really pretty. But if you guys enjoyed these type of old school get ready with me's, then let me know down below in the comment bar, and I'll continue to do these type of things the next time I have an event. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then you guys know what to do. Please feel free to leave me a like, comment, and leave any requests that you have down below in the comment bar. Subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell and drag it all the way down to all to become a part of this family and be notified of all my future videos. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys. Am I shaking? Please stop. Whoa, let's not drop it. Just added some black liquid. No, I definitely did not add liquid.